took them off.
Hang on. Let's start at the beginning. Right, so here we are back at Jeff's. Yeah, you've been polishing.
No, I just thought I'd put them on because the bloody things get hot.
Yeah. You've been polishing. Things get hot. So here's Drew's bike again. So at the moment, at the back here, you've now removed.
All them lugs have gone.
Gone. Yes, that's great.
I've linished it with a sanding mop, but it wants some
bit more work. Okay.
Mind though, like you say, once all that's been blasted and powder coated,
you not notice. You can't see it anyway.
It's going to take a bloody.
And then here at the bottom of the frame here.
Oh, them are on.
You've
now,
welded on the logs, which will be mounting the rear sets at some point.
Well, we can make now off here whether it comes up or wherever.
Yes, whatever's required.
We can shape a bracket.
Okay, and we got a tank on temporarily anyway.
Well, that's on, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got the forks down there.
Yeah. All these have been these now.
So you've now.
There.
Hang on, let me get the camera moving.
Oh, sorry.
This is just my phone, so it's not particularly good, but you've now filled up these gaps that were there.
I braced everything, put a stud in across here.
Yes.
And when.
And there as well.
It gets the tube cherry red,
As well.
It's actually sealed all them now.
Yes.
So that the crap
can't get in there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then there's the forks that we didn't see last time. There's the upside down forks from
I've not slid them in yet.
A 750. Yeah, they're going to go in there.
Yeah.
Down here, there's a rear wheel.
That's my wheel.
That's your wheel.
That's Drew's front wheel.
Okay.
His back wheel now is there. The one.
Okay, it's all very confusing. There's wheels everywhere.
Yeah.
But they are the wheels anyway. And we're now waiting for a pair of shocks, which we don't have yet. Although you can probably just make a bit of aluminium, drill it at the appropriate height and just set it up that way.
I think ideally to get the right.
Oh yeah.
I think he's going to have to go to Maxton and get a set.
Well, not Maxton, maybe. There's lots.
Or
Hagon.
Someone.
There's lots of folks where you can specify the spring length. It's not really a big problem. Right, good. So I'm on my phone right now, so no doubt it'll run out of power in a minute or run out of space. So yeah, there's a quick update on Drew's bike. Right, so here we are now. It's a few weeks later in Les's garage, in his posh garage, his warm garage, and here we have Drew's frame and swing arm and battery box and whatever, fresh back from GPz, which we went to get last Saturday.
You very kindly took me,
yeah, and looking pretty good. And you already made a start on this because you fitted the special bearing adapters for the sort of
ball bearings, standard bearings, and the modified modified top hat spacers that Jeff's made in stainless steel.
Yeah, to make this swing arm work with that, because
it's already been fitted in the bike.
Yeah, you've already done a quick test.
So now we know it's going to go straight back in.
Right, so what's next then?
Next is fitting the engine in the frame. And Jeff's in the middle of making stainless bolts, engine bolts, and
an alloy bracket.
And one alloy bracket.
Yeah, because you can't do it on other ones.
Well, he was going to make the rear top engine brackets, but we found that if you make them out of a thicker material, it fouls the crankcase.
Yeah.
So we've gone back to Plan A and using the standard ones.
Yeah, just getting painted. Whatever.
Yeah, getting powder coated locally, maybe.
Right. And as luck would have it, actually, while we're in GPz over in Bingley, someone turned up while we were there.
Oh, Dave,
Dave Marston of Z Power fame.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that, I'm lacking a special nut for one of my projects. And he said, I think I've got one of them.
He said, I've got one, I'll send one to Les. I said, one to me.
Which he has done today.
Yeah, it's arrived today, free of charge.
So that's great news.
Big thanks to
Dave Marston from Z Power. Well, he's still Z Power, I guess. He's now also called Asylum, isn't he?
Yes.
He's got a different company now that builds bikes called Asylum.
Correct.
So yeah, so that's great. So I can get on with my project and my engine build. But anyway, that's something completely different. So it's looking really good. This is a sort of metallic silver. I might do a close actually because you're still quite a long way there. And then when you've got the engine mounts all sorted out, new one sorted out, the engine's next door, and the plan is to
put the engine on its side and
very gently on nice soft
nice duvets and cushions and things,
and then we lift this up,
and then we lift the frame over the engine
and drop it on.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Drop it on, put all the engine,
and then lift the frame and engine back into here. This is where it's going to live and where the build's going to be done, basically. Next door's cold in the winter, and this is warm in here, so
it's very clean. Yes.
This is where I can work in the winter in comfort.
Yeah. So. And it actually does look very nice. I mean, and also before I forget, the last time we saw this, it was obviously before it had been powder coated and before it went off to be sorted out. After that little video, another problem was found with the frame.
Yeah.
Which nobody knew about.
Yeah.
Because before it went off, you spent a bit of time scraping off the old horrible plastic
just
coating.
getting just cleaning up all the wells, the original wells, and getting all the welding splatter off.
That was all over it.
Yeah.
And what you found was?
I found a dent in the frame tube at the front right hand side.
Yeah, that had been hidden by filler and
underneath here where my hand is.
Oh, sorry, that side, yeah.
It's hit something, a curb or in a previous crash, and it filled it with body filler.
Yeah.
Car body filler.
Which you can't do with powder coating because the heat will destroy it.
So the frame then had to go back to Jeff's, and he stiff bronze welded it and
linished it down.
Linished it all in, and it looks perfect. You can't tell.
And powder coated, you can't even tell it was there.
No, you can't even tell there's any damage there.
So that's great news.
That's all done. Yeah.
So I guess that's you never quite know what's underneath the powder coat.
Correct.
Paint.
Yeah.
Please strip it all down.
Well, this is why I get Jeff to put them on his jig to make sure they're straight.
Yeah.
Before we even start the build.
The Z650 frame that I've recently done, the B, that looked really nice, and the rear pillion mounts, the so-called ears, which are renowned for rusting through.
Apparently so.
Might look really good, but when it went off to be powder coated, they blasted it. Turned out it wasn't that good after all, and it was had to be cut off and re-welded and sorted out.
Yeah.
Which luckily Triple S have a guy there who could do it, so that saved me a trip. But it wasn't cheap. But that's all sorted out now.
Yeah.
So you're never quite know what you're going to find when you
don't
blast off all the old finish. Right, so that's great. So next time we'll see this then, hopefully we'll be here putting the engine, or putting the frame over the engine.
Yeah.
And then getting it on here, and then obviously progress can be done quite quickly.
It sounds simple, but it's probably going to be a 3-man job.
Oh yeah.
Two people to lift the frame,
and
one person
down a bit, left a bit, right a bit.
and then put the bolts in, which will probably be
careful. You don't want to damage the finish on this beautiful frame.
No.
The finish
it'll all get wrapped anyway.
It'll be wrapped anyway. Yeah, I mean, when we did them, the what was it? The Z1000, my Z650/1170. That was a nightmare, wasn't it? Because it didn't quite go in as it.
Well, there was a bracket welding in the wrong place, which had to be cut off.
Due to COVID, because COVID meant the engine and the frame couldn't be together for quite a long time. But we sorted it out.
We did.
By cutting it off, basically. Yeah, so that's fine. So next time you'll see this spur frame. Hopefully the engine will be going in.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what else you can fit to it. I know Jeff's now. You've started polishing the big fat billet yokes.
Yeah, he's got to fit the stem and polish the yokes, or the other way around. Yeah. Polish them and fit the stem.
When the yokes are in, then you can get the forks in.
Yeah, really? They're stripped. I've got to order all new bushes.
What's happening with the wheels? Are they going to be painted? Or?
The wheels are at the local powder coaters.
Okay.
Because he has a tyre fitting machine.
Oh. Okay.
So I took the wheels there to have the tyres removed. That's it.
Right.
Because I am going to polish the wheels and paint them after doing the wheel on my Eliminator.
Yeah, which is just here, by the way. I'll move the camera around in a minute and you can see.
Drew, the owner of the bike, has seen the wheel and liked it. So I've said, well, I can paint them if you want and polish them.
So what colours are you going for?
He's going for the same as that, the gold, which you'll see in a minute.
Yeah, I'll turn the camera around in a minute and I'll let it all in.
Yeah.
That's great. So then when that's done, new tyres on and you can get them on the bike.
Yeah.
Now I know the shocks he got, which came off me, turned out to be far too long for this bike.
Yeah.
So he's got to get either custom shocks made or
we worked out it was around 280mm centre to centre, which are quite short. I found that YSS do shocks for I think it's a Suzuki Intruder.
Well, Hagen will make you
which will fit this because the eyelets are all them fittings are the same.
But just for the time being, just get it on its wheels, you can always just fit them, can't you?
Well, Jeff's made me, would you believe, he's made me a couple of aluminium stays.
Oh yeah,
little billet pieces of aluminium.
Yeah, with small
with the holes drilled in at the right centres.
Yeah, so you can at least get it on its wheels.
So then, even without shocks, we can get it on its wheels, and Drew can sit on the bike and see if he likes the stance.
There is something missing, which is probably my fault, because I've got a bracket for the rear caliper that works with this.
Correct.
And I can't find it anywhere. I've looked and I've looked and I've looked and I can't find it. Luckily, they are available on eBay for about 30 quid, so it's not the end of the world.
Well, there's the rear caliper as well, which was I'd split it into two halves. That's in a box somewhere.
Right.
I don't know if that's still here somewhere or whether you've got it when I sold you the Mark II.
Don't know. I've got.
It's either at yours or here.
We've got so much crap. We've got so many boxes everywhere. I mean, yours is pretty well organised compared to my garage because you've got a bigger garage. You've got one next door as well.
I've got too much stuff in here.
Mine's all kind of crammed in together, but I'll have a look.
I've actually sold a bike so I could use this ramp and move the workshop around.
Right, yeah, give a bit more room.
To give me a little bit more space.
Right, so, whatever. It'll turn up. I mean, It's just that you need that bracket before you can fit the wheel.
Yeah, because it acts as a wheel spacer. Yes, yeah, the caliper bracket.
As I say, you can get them off eBay.
Rear caliper bracket.
I did have a look, about 20-30 quid. They are available. Right, so that's it. That's progress so far. It looks very nice. And before I go, I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what I'm pointing at here, which is your ZL1000 Illuminator.
Yep.
Project, which you've owned for donkey's years,
32 years,
and you're now sort of rebuilding it.
Yeah.
And the wheels were originally black.
No, silver.
Silver, centres with polished highlights, and you've gone a bit of a change, and you've gone for some nice gold paint on there.
Yeah, very retro, but the tank badges and side panel badges are gold, so I thought, well, I'll do them wheels gold to match. Right,
and it's a sort of long term, because you've owned this thing for a long time, and well, it's not just your pride and joy, it's one of your pride and joys.
It is.
And it's getting there, you know, it's a very tight budget, but you are getting there. So you've got the back ended now, new tyre, and now you're moving on doing the work on the engine. But anyway, let's move the camera around and I'll point to the colour and the style that the wheels will be on this bike in a future episode. Right, so quickly then, move the camera around. Here's the back wheel, running a sort of deep gold finish. I don't know what colour that is. But
just a bright gold,
Yeah, is it off for some car or something? I don't know.
No, it's just a standard gold paint. I like the shade of kind of paint I saw on eBay, and that'll do.
That'll do, right. Oh, you've got polished highlights, so Drew will have wheels that look a bit like that on that bike. Yes. And then this bike here, you're getting through it very slowly. You're just doing some work here on this bit. So
well, I'm just whatever I can bolt back on without spending any money. I'll clean up and bolt back on.
Yeah, you were saying you spent a lot of time just taking apart these foot pegs.
Well, the rider's footrests were all scuffed and scraped, so I've had to clean them up and reassemble them
and rub it all down, polish it.
I've not done the pillion ones. No, they were okay.
Yeah, but
little things. I've rebuilt the starter motor the other day and bolted that on. And I just do an hour or so every day.
As and when.
And just bolt something on, so over time it'll get done.
Yeah. Right, good. So, as I say, next time we'll see Drew's bike, hopefully we'll have the engine in and it'll start looking like a motorbike.
Yeah, well, it should, yeah.
Brilliant. Right, that's it.
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea, of course. Right, so here we are. It's a few days later, and on the floor we've got the wheels from a Z, get this right,
ZXR750.
XR, yeah. Different colours. That's the
ZXR750 front.
Yes.
To match the forks that are on the bike.
Sorry about the noise, but it's very windy today. It was the right storm outside.
Yes.
So you're keeping busy, and you are stripping the paint off.
Stripping the paint off the rear wheel.
In preparation for painting it and polishing the rims.
Polishing the rims, yeah.
Yeah. And you're using some decent, what's it called? Paramos.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
It's real good stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's not like the stuff you buy.
Yeah.
Unlike
the B&Q stuff, yeah?
No.
So that's your second coat?
Yeah, so I'm slowly, as you can see,
grind it all off, cutting it all off.
Getting all the paint off, and then I can prep and paint them.
Yeah. And how much are you going to polish then? Is it going to be...
Well, I've looked at the finish on this, it's gorgeous. It's
it's not too bad, it's all, is it?
It'll only take a light rubbing down with 1200 or 2000 grade wet and dry, then I can polish it with metal polish.
Right, so there you go. There's work on the wheels. And no doubt when I come back again, things will be all nice and gold and polished.
Well, now you've brought that wheel.
Yeah, I've just brought the wheel stand because although we know, or you're pretty sure, that this rear wheel is straight, that's not necessarily the case with the front wheel, because it's been on a race bike and you never know its history.
I want to spin it in that jig.
Put it in my wheel stand and spin it up and make sure it's straight.
That's right.
Before you spend any more time.
The wheel itself and the discs while they're still on the wheel.
Yeah. So that's why I'm here, because I've just brought that over to use on this wheel.
That's right.
Right, that's it. So we'll come back in a while and see how you're progressing.
Okay.
Brilliant. And now here we are. It's a few days later, and today is a big day, because it's the day when this GPz750 Turbo motor goes in the frame at last. This engine's been rebuilt some time ago elsewhere, and it's now 810cc, and it's been built to take a much bigger turbo. As you can see, it looks pretty good. So we've now got it on its side, resting on pillows and so on, ready to put the frame over the top of the engine, and that's what's next.
There's a gap here as well, you see, which makes it easier to get in the frame.
Yeah.
But I thought it went easy.
Yeah, because I always struggle to get the damn thing in, but this is so easy. Because this is different, which is quite interesting. I thought the cases were the same, but obviously they're not. They've changed it.
Yeah. So I can go in my van and get my 8mm bolts out. Find a 70mm bolt to go through. I can use a cap head. I might have a stainless cap head.
Yeah, anything will do for the time being. And then we can get
just to get that bolt, just to get, and then we can put the engine upright.
Did he not have a turbo frame? No.
See that's tight there.
No. Yeah.
So if the engine comes this way, it'll clear.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, well let's get the bolt in, and then at least it's secure.
Yeah, let's get some bolts organised.
Right, good stuff. So far, so good, or so far, so bad. We haven't scratched it yet. That's the main thing. Right, so we've now got the engine in.
Yep.
Kind of, but there are a few weird differences between this engine and a standard 750/650, which you've now found out about.
Yep.
So we need to make some spaces for the back here, where we got a problem.
Bottom gearbox mounts narrower.
Yeah, and one at the front. And what's really weird is, at the front here, you can't mount the upper front mount here because there's no mount on the engine.
There's no crankshaft.
It's really weird. And the reason for that is because we think there are bosses here, threaded bosses for mounting the turbo, which lives here.
Yeah.
Which kind of begs the question, how on earth did they add that extra amount? And we don't know right now, but I'm sure you can look it up and find out. So now we're going to very carefully carry this thing next door on its workbench,
yeah,
where it's going to be hopefully completed.
Yeah.
And we won't drop it.
Correct.
Right, that's next. And now as you can see, we've got the bike on its workbench in the warm garage, where the final assembly will be happening. So the next time we see this bike, hopefully we'll have the swing arm in, maybe the yokes and forks and so on, and we'll have those engine mount spaces made up. By the way, we have just found out that this particular engine, the turbo engine, doesn't have that third engine mount at the front. Bit strange that, but it doesn't, so that's not really a big problem. Right, so that's it for now then, and so thanks for watching, and cheers.